So I did the thing again.
New Year, same you.
So I think a couple episodes ago, a lot of episodes ago,
a year ago,
many times ago, very frequently, I would, we have 2 cameras. We have one for you, one for me. We have the mixer that we have to record on. And for some reason, I tend to forget one of them. And we just had maybe like a 15-minute like intro spiel whole episode that you'll never see the light of day. It was really good. But guess what? We're back.
Yeah, man, how you doing? You good? I know you're like, yeah.
Happy 2023. So it's January 1st, 2023. It is about 10:30 o'clock at night.
10:30
Soul's
o'clock.
asleep. We've talked about doing this again.
Yes.
A lot of people have reached out and told us like, hey, like I missed when you guys did that. Like it's surprising. For me, it's very surprising because I have peers in my space that I would never have thought. I would never have thought to ever watched or listened to our podcast and like, yo, like you should get back on that. That shit was dope with you and your girl. Like me and my girl watched it. I'm just like, what? But all those kind of words of encouragement kind of pushed us to keep the momentum going.
We knew we had to bring it back because we were definitely not finished. I went back to our YouTube channel. If you don't follow us, make sure you do. And if you want to catch up, go back to all of our
tons of fire episodes. We were just talking about how some of our previous episodes actually did really well numbers considering who we are. We nobody. We know promotion, none of that stuff. And it still has a couple thousand views. And it's a good story of obviously us growing as people, as parents, as entrepreneurs, and all those kinds of things. So I think if you guys haven't, make sure to check out the other episodes and go from there.
Yeah, and we have other episodes with other people too.
Yeah, we have guests.
Yeah, so it's really cool. It's really fun to like dive into other people's shoes and get motivated by their different experiences.
Yeah. So if this is your first episode ever, we do this as a couple. It's called Hustle and Soul. Obviously, Soul being for our daughter's name, Hustle because we're both entrepreneurs, we're hustlers, we're hungry, we're motivators. So we try to, tell our story, tell our peers a story, bring people on board and like
continue that line of motivation
for people like us that we don't really see on the gram.
Yeah, that was well said.
I thought I fumbled that shit.
No, that was so well said.
But yeah, so let's get into, where we're at this year or where we at as of late. Obviously we've been on a sick hiatus for the past couple months, maybe the whole year. I think the whole year, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think the
Souls 2 now, we were just talking about that.
Yeah, the previous episode we uploaded was probably this past year, but it was shot the year before.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So yeah, so it's been a while. Souls 2 whole ass years, so we're dealing with a 2-year-old.
A 2-year-old.
It's pretty scary, but it's fun nonetheless. So we're just talking about this, how she's going through her phases. I call them terrible twos. You don't want to call it terrible twos.
She's not
pretty fucking terrible.
The experience can be very intense, but it's definitely not terrible. She's not like a terrible kid. She doesn't intentionally yes.
It tests you as a human being.
Sometimes she does like intentionally do stuff. I'm not gonna lie. I know she looks at us and she's just like, I'm about to do this. She tests the waters a lot, but she's such a good kid. She's so smart. She knows.
She loves coffee.
She loves coffee. She knows.
She doesn't drink coffee, but she loves her mom's coffee.
She loves drinking my coffee when we go to Target or at the house. She loves gymnastics. She loves swim. She learned how to swim. Like she's a 2-year-old and she learned how to swim. So she's a really smart baby. She knows some sign language. But yeah, with all the cuteness comes all like the not so cuteness. So those are just things.
All the eye bags, all the ganas, all that.
Those are just things that we kind of have to deal with and learn how to like keep going because we don't got no other choice.
Having a 2-year-old is crazy. It's something I never thought obviously I thought I'd have kids someday, but it's not something that I can ever prepare myself for. I ever thought I could prepare myself for. And now you want a second one.
We'll save that for a whole different episode. Yeah. But yeah.
So she wants a second one, but we're holding out. Along with that, I think this past year has been very, what's the word?
I think for me, it's definitely been literally life-changing.
There you go. 2 things. Let's go over. One,
this past year, 2022,
you started your own brand, Soulful Kids. So for some reason, a lot of people don't realize Soulful Kids is named after soul.
Yeah. Also, we go to pop-ups, so like not everybody knows who we are, so they just think it's like
no,
cool
even the people
kids.
That we tell, they're like, oh, like it clicks, like oh shit, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. But yeah, a lot of people that show up to the pop-ups aren't familiar with us, and we tell them our story, and that resonates with them even more so, just because most of them have kids because they're buying kids clothing. Mm-hmm. But explain to people the idea of that brand, where it's at, where it's gonna go.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so people are also shocked that it only started in April, which I forget.
I forget
too,
that too.
because I'm like, oh, when's our 1 year anniversary? And it
Yeah.
hasn't even been a whole year. I don't even know how it started exactly, but I think I knew I wanted to do something with kids. I knew I wanted a kids brand. You had tried doing you did a kids brand, I don't know, a couple years back.
Yes, me and the guys from the Swarm, we did a brand that we wanted to do in our minds back then. Like Karma Loop was a thing, and there was no Karma Loop for kids. So we're like, yo, let's make these 3 different fictitious brands that cater to different audiences. One's like the streetwear, like hype beastie kid. One's like the vintage rock band kid, and one's like the I don't even remember,
It
but
was jeans or something like
I
that.
mean, yeah, there was like some bottoms or something like that. So we did that. It was too much at the time. We were still trying to figure out Sworn to Us, and trying to do that as a side hustle wasn't really a thing. So we ended up just storing that stuff in my parents' garage for years. And then you kept toying around with the idea of starting a kids thing. And I was like, yo, we have existing inventory of product that we've never did anything with. So I was like, why don't we use that to kickstart your stuff, and everything that we make from there, you can reinvest and create your curated designs, your curated product, and your whole brand can start from there.
Yes, exactly. So we that was like our step 1. And then I knew I wanted to do something specifically for soul. So that's where Soulful Kids kind of just came out of. I had the Instagram for like months. I had saved the Instagram for months, but I was like, I don't know if I'm sold on the name.
Do you remember the names that we had toyed around with before that?
I don't. I like literally don't remember, but I had Soulful Kids saved as an Instagram IG because I was like, if I ever actually want to name it this, like I don't want the name to be taken or whatever. To be honest, like now I don't even see it being any other name. Like I don't even know what other name it could have been or could be.
The messaging and the designs all come from like our passions, our interests, our likes. So like we just recently did an Aaliyah shirt. We've done a Kobe shirt. We're working on like a hustle. We did a Karol G one. We're working on like a hustle and soul. Like these things that you can't really find at Target. You can't really find at these other stores. Or like these, you know, we did a Bad Bunny shirt that went crazy for some reason. Like people just
during the summer, oh my gosh.
I think we restocked that shit like 3 times.
Yeah, it was crazy. People even wanted adult versions of the shirts, and they bought adult versions of the shirts just to match their kids. I went on a live on my birthday for Soulful Kids, and I kind of explained into detail the meaning behind the brand. And basically, like my daughter, her style and the way that she dresses reminds me a lot of the way my parents used to dress.
Straight tomboy.
Like a tomboy when I was a little girl. So it was really cute. They always had me in like pink matching sweatsuits with like the little LA gears, which were like the shoe at the time, little high tops, always in like big sweats. And then I also grew up with boys, so I was always like in my sports gear, and that's kind of like the way we dress Soul Up. It's obviously a mix. Like we'll put her in her like cute girly outfits or like the neutrals and stuff, but that's also kind of like how I dress. So I wanted that to be resembled in the brand, and also give the opportunity for like girls to just wear whatever they want, which is why all of our designs are meant to be gender neutral, so that everybody could just wear everything that looks cool, is cool. And like Barry was saying, it has that representation of our culture, of our music. And when we say culture, we don't just mean like Guatemalan, Salvadorian. It's like more deeply rooted than that. So like the Kobe shirts, we just don't do it because
it's the LA Kobe culture, the hip hop culture, the Hispanic Latin culture, like the cultures we grew up around.
Exactly. So it's like there's a deeper meaning. Like we don't just want to sell like a Kobe shirt for like literally the face of it. It's like that is meaningful to us. Like we were watching that Shaq documentary yesterday, and literally like when we see pictures of like them winning championships or like the throwback videos, like literally you have that sense of feeling.
I was literally telling you how like I vividly remember like I think 2003 or 4 Lakers versus Pistons. I remember vividly being in my parents' living room with my parents, my uncles, my cousins, eating Pizza Hut. Like I remember that so clearly. And like that was a thing for me. So yeah, like, I mean, growing up with the Laker culture is a big thing for us.
And that's the whole point. Like we want to instill like that type of feeling into the brand, into the kids, into the parents. Like I know when we dropped the Aaliyah t-shirt, everybody was like, wait, is that an Aaliyah t-shirt? Because that's something that becomes memorable for you as the adult, but then you're sharing those exact same memories with your kids. So as they're growing up, you can teach them like, this was Kobe. These are the things we went through. Like when we were in school, we used to skip school, or we used to like not do school to just watch the Laker parades. Like those are really cool, like valuable moments.
And I want to point out this is 100% Arleen's thing. Like I have nothing to do with it outside of being.
You do. You help me a lot.
I design, but I am 100% the unpaid intern, the unpaid, undervalued, underappreciated intern, might I add. But
That's not true. He's appreciated. He's valued. May he get talked to roughly sometimes.
To put it lightly.
That's a different story.
But it's crazy because we started obviously just selling stuff online, but I think we also did the pop-ups, which, shout out to the Shop Small Soiree. That's kind of what helped us boost the brand's awareness, I guess. Sure. Because it's a space where a lot of families go through, a lot of parents, a lot of women, a lot of kids attend these pop-ups, and they see our booth, and it kind of brings them in because everything else around them. I think there's a lot of cool, trendy kids brands, but I remember somebody told us this, and it kind of stuck with me, that there's not a lot of boy-driven stuff, and obviously we're gender neutral, but the pieces that we make are very unisex. So it's like kind of like these cooler, swaggy, unique pieces that you don't really see on the other booths. No disrespect to anybody else, because everybody's crushing in their own lane. But it was something interesting that somebody mentioned to us, and it was a cool thing to see. And
I also think that was our intention. Like that was our whole like intention.
Where's the void?
Like where's the void that we think is cool, that we think is meaningful, that's for our daughter, that's not really being done. And then that's what we wanted to do.
And I always tell you too that whenever I design things and we think about these concepts, it's like it needs to be something you can't find at Target. You can't find it at Cotton On.
Again, no disrespect, but whatever. They're rich. Target, Cotton On, it's just copy and paste. Like the person doing that, maybe you do. Maybe
it's cash grab.
I don't know. Yeah, it's like copy paste, but like when we design these things, like we try to think a little bit deeper.
Yeah, I think we had an idea for like Hispanic Heritage Month where we never were able to execute it on time because
there's no time. Like you need like I wish I had 10 hands.
Well,
and like
perfect segue. Perfect segue. At the time, obviously, I was working Sworn, doing that full time. That took up a lot of time. Obviously, come home and then taking care of Soul. You were commuting from Santa Monica, an hour and a half to get there, an hour and a half to come back. By the time you get here, Soul's up for like an hour, maybe two, and then she knocks out. So life was very fast and very rough, and it was just
intense, like, really intense.
And recently, I would say maybe like 3 months ago,
exactly,
a big change happened.
Soy una mantenida. Just kidding.
I don't know about that. I mean, yeah, actually, what the fuck?
Not really.
I got tricked into that.
Yeah, you did get tricked. And then you gave me a time frame of like when I needed to go back to work, and it hasn't happened. In my defense, I'm still kind of working. So I had a job. I thought this was I didn't think it was my dream job. I thought it was
a very good job.
It was a very good job. And I thought it was a job that was going to lead me into my dream job, give me all of the opportunity for like my dream job, like what I wanted to do in life. And it was a good job. It was in marketing.
It took you to Paris. It took you to south of France. It took you to, where else did you go? Spain, yeah.
Yeah, which I never thought I would go to. I mean, yes, I did, but like the vid's kicking in. Hold on. I have the Rona.
Can't say that. Oh yeah, did we mention this one?
No, we haven't talked about that.
So if you see Arlene's eyes watering, she has
hold on, quick break.
She has to wear a mask for about 5 to 10 days
C
or whatever
that's going around.
Yeah, so today's January 1st, so our New Year's was, we were in bed by like 9 o'clock.
I was asleep and I woke up at 12:01.
I think we watched the ball drop for New York.
Okay, so if you see me looking like a mess, that's why.
But I have never gotten it.
Barry is good, Soul's good. It's just unlucky me. I
6 feet apart.
Convinced someone is doing brujeria, but that's a conversation.
Yeah, whoever's doing brujeria, I just thought we get
Cut
it.
That shit. Okay. So yes, I had many great opportunities with this job, and I genuinely liked it. I was really excited when I first got it, and I don't know, like a couple months in, I was just like, whoa.
It was very stressful for like you, for me, for everybody involved, because I think it put a lot of pressure on you. You were never able to clock in, clock out kind of situation.
It was bad. Like when I first started, I was like on till about 8 p.m. or 9
You took a lot of your stresses from work and brought them home, and then that affected me because I was like, yo, like I did nothing to you. I don't see where this is coming from. I don't like it. Cut that shit out. So we really bad, we bumped heads a lot.
I had really bad acne.
I told you it was
Remember?
stress.
It was so bad. And right now I'm still dealing with like, you can probably see like
It's because of the
the
mask.
scars. Yeah, now I'm getting a little bit more because it's a bit mask. But you can see I had really bad acne. And back then, I don't know. It's just like I get annoyed with myself because I have like that hustler mentality where it's just
But
like
I think that's something
keep going.
that's embedded in us as like our culture. Like you,
And to add to that, I only took 2 months
maternity leave.
maternity leave. Don't ask why. We won't even talk about that. But it was just all adding up. And I'm not going to talk bad about the job because we don't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, the people you work with are great.
I like the people. If you're watching, hi.
I think the structure of it was just not like most places. Most corporate places, there's a lot of cooks.
Which is why I'm good at your job.
Yeah, there's a lot of cooks in the kitchen. It makes a lot of red tape and a lot of difficult to get things done that should be very easy, which is why we've always, I mean, I've always had the entrepreneur spirit because it's like if I need to get something done, I'm going to get it done myself if I have to.
For sure. And now looking back, like running Soulful Kids, like I do what I want. I do it right. It's kind of working. Like the reason for me being so frustrated, like it all makes sense. And I was doing Soulful Kids while I was working there since April. I quit in October.
I think so.
October. So that was a long time doing all the pop-ups, all the online stuff. I quit in October and
no plan, nothing really.
I quit in October. So yeah, so long story short, we're not going to talk bad because we don't do that stuff, but it was a lot. It started to get toxic. I can actually say that because I feel like people, if you watch this, you would probably agree.
I mean, let's just put it this. I think we just put it this way. Since you left, a lot of other people have also left or been let go. So I think you made the right decision, made the right call.
For sure.
And I always told you too at the same time, it's like you literally have one life. And if you're stressed all the time, if you're unhappy, like it doesn't matter how much money they pay you, like if you're literally unhappy 90% of the time, even when you're with your kid, like it's not worth it.
It was a lot. And it was not just the job, to be honest. It was the job, the commute, being a mom of a 1-year-old transitioning into 2, trying to be a good fiance, which Barry just said I was shitty at. And trying to be myself while also trying to work out, trying to figure out what the hell we're gonna eat. Like it's a lot. Like not that I worried about.
We were just talking about that. Shout out to Jordy. So we were with Jordy for like I think like 4 or 5 months or something.
He's a trainer, to be very clear.
He's like one of the best trainers out here. He's like his nickname is the Trainer's Trainer, and really great advice, really great inspo, really great meal plans, really great training. But we
were just trash.
I think we just plateaued and we just nothing ever changed.
We never got hot. Like it just didn't happen for us. We never got fit. But I genuinely like think our intentions were there.
Our lifestyle
wasn't.
It didn't allow us to be
like
great.
it didn't like there was absolutely no way. Right now, I don't even know how to explain it. I tell you this all the time. Like I feel happy and I'm spending time with my daughter.
In the most pivotal time in her life, I think.
In the most pivotal time in her life, while also like now we have like a different situation we've been taking care of, which happened to be bad timing for what I wanted.
Yeah.
But it's all good. Like we're trying to live through it. I feel very happy and fulfilled in a way, but then I also feel like unfulfilled because I've never not been working and I've never not been like the cool aunt that has the cool job. And I've never not been like the cool fiance that takes her fiance to cool, it's weird. Like I just don't feel like my whole life's work is being put into anything. And yes, Soulful Kids kind of in a way feels that
I don't think you give yourself enough credit for that. Like that has the potential and opportunity to be way bigger and you can still become that cool aunt or whatever. And I think that kind of segues perfectly into the next, like what's to come this year? What do we want to see?
Oh my gosh, for Soulful Kids?
In general. And I was telling you.
Wait, you have to talk about where you're at in life now because I just went on this whole and I just like
just fucking up my segue.
Sorry.
We can go into that. But I think we were just talking about this like before doing the podcast, how cool it is that a lot of our peers are now creating vision boards. Like that's a cool thing to do. Like you do that right before New Year's and like people are treating it. I don't know if it's a trend, but like it's a good thing to do. Like manifest all your ideas and your goals for the next year. And that's something that we haven't done yet.
No.
But we talked about like obviously doing that and
we haven't had freaking downtime.
This kind of allows us to speak it into existence on what you see with Soulful Kids, with you as a parent, you and your career or whatever it is you want to do.
I don't know because I feel like there's so many like determining factors of me what I want to do, but I can talk about some things.
Yeah.
Not too into detail because I honestly, like, I feel lost right now. Yeah. I'm in my sad girl era, and we talk about this. I tell you this all the time. But I'm in my sad girl era. We've had a past hard 3 months dealing with something else that I don't want to go into detail about, but it's been very hard. Put it this way, like, I ran into someone I knew crying at a coffee shop. Like, we've been going through it rough for the past 3 months.
Yeah, but we're trying not to show it. We're trying to, like, let other people in, and it's kind of stuff we're dealing with internally.
Yes.
But again, either way, that has never stopped us. Adversities have always challenged us and motivated us.
I just think, like, I haven't personally dealt with something like this in a good, like, ever, kind of, I don't know, a couple years. Anyway, so we're trying to get through that. So number one is trying to either live through this, like reclaiming my sad girl era, and getting out of it. And then obviously have not thought about my goals for the year. I have not, like, straight up. But I did see Desi Perkins, which, like, I can't even speak to that because, like, my life in comparison to hers is so far off.
It's pretty similar.
But
Just a kid. You got a kid.
Just two. But the context,
Just two.
I can relate to. So she was talking about how she's a content creator, obviously, but she's also a person, whatever. Moral of the story is I want to try to find myself again. I joke about this all the time, and so does Barry. But this morning I sent him a TikTok about what's that, like, me and Mr. Nah get along so good.
Yeah.
That TikTok.
Me and Miss, she look homeless 97% of the time, but that 3% get along so good. It's pretty accurate.
How many water just for that one? But yes, that is me, and I'm a hot mess. I'm trying to be the 3% more. Barry's goal for me for 2023 is show that ass.
Show that ass, shake them tits. Worst case, we on OnlyFans.
But that's best case at this point. But I'm not that person, so I feel like I don't know what person I even am. So that's the goal. One goal for 2023, like, reclaim your title and find whatever the hell you think you are. Goal number 2 is to find my bond with Soul, which I think I'm finally finding. So when I was working, obviously I was never here for her. I didn't get to drop her off. I didn't get to get her ready. In the mornings, I was gone all day. The only way I would see her was by receiving pictures from, like, my Nina or Barry's mom, who were taking care of her at the time. And then I would get home, like, at 7:30. 7 o'clock was, like, a good day. 8:30 was a really bad day. And I would sit with her, have some dinner. And at that time, I was, like, so tired that it was, like, even hard to engage with her, which is so sad to say out loud. And then we'd put her to bed, or we'd do, like, a little night situation, watch a movie with her, Miss Rachel, whatever. And then we'd put her to sleep. So I literally got to spend 1.5 hours, 2 hours, 3 hours at most every single day with her. And then weekends, we were running around. So weekends was, like, our time together. And it was very special, but we either had, like, gymnastics or swim.
Most of the times they were back to back. We had, like, gymnastics and swim.
Because we didn't get to do that during the week with her. So we would cram everything we didn't get to do during the week with Soul on a Saturday, a Sunday, on top of trying to go buy groceries or Target runs or whatever the hell we needed to do.
Grocery runs ended up being, like, bonding time with Soul. Like, she knows what Target is. She knows what Starbucks is.
Yeah, she does.
And thanks to you, Nina, she knows what IHOP is. So she's a little street kid.
She's a little street kid. But yes, so now I'm, like, trying to reestablish a relationship with her while I can, at least before she goes to school. So that's something I want to continue to do. So that's there. So I'm rambling, and we got to get to you still. So Soulful Kids, I want to put out bad shit. Like, I want cool shit, bad shit. Like, badass shit, bad stuff. I can't say shit. It's a kid's line. But for Soulful Kids, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So I want to do more stuff. Last year, before the year ended, I actually met up with a girl who's a designer. Her name is Scarmo Stope on Instagram. I met her at one of the pop-ups, and I was like, you know what? I like your vibe. Let's do something together. So I hired her to design some pieces because Barry's always busy. He does good shit, but I also wanted more, like, diverse and, like, to try and bring in other elements maybe I can't think about. You need the outside looking in. Yeah, so I just wanted to collaborate with another mom as well, and, like,
I think it's a dope story to tell. Also, like I said, you're collaborating with a mom who has a kid who's a designer. Like, it makes more sense than me.
Yeah, But I also love Barry. Like Barry's like the OG.
I gotta see here
for Soulful Kids. He has no choice. He can't leave me ever. So yeah. So there's a lot of new stuff that's already gonna come out this January, which is really really exciting. A lot of like LA stuff. I don't want to tease it out too much because I do want it to be kind of like a surprise when we roll out with all of that stuff. But yeah, definitely more cool designs, more original designs. I want to do more pop-ups. So I want to venture out a little bit more and maybe like double down on more pop-ups. Especially because I'm not working, so a girl needs to go out here and hustle.
Get that money.
To that point, I'm not fully Montanita because I'm still doing Soulful Kids. Whatever.
I bought her an espresso so she can make her coffees at home and avoid these $6 daily
you
Starbucks.
said this last year on a different.
Yeah, so I bought her another Nespresso because the previous Nespresso was never being used.
Jerry stole mine.
So I took it to our office, and it never got used there.
Jerry didn't.
Jerry recently moved out, my business partner,
and saved it if anything.
And he was like, "Yo, what's up with this coffee machine?" I was like, "Take it if you want." And then now Arleen wanted another one, and obviously I couldn't get the same one back. She needed a white one, and now she can't even make her own coffees because she's like, "Hey, can you make it? Because you know how to make it right."
He mastered the recipe.
Mantenida.
Okay, anyway, so like now I talk too much. Let's talk about Barry. Where you're at in life and then what your goals are.
I think for me, for business wise, I think for Sworn, I think we're figuring out how to adapt this new video content heavy marketing. Obviously, TikToks and Reels are becoming a big thing. So it's like, how do we incorporate that into our business and how do we sell our story on what we do? And I think a lot of times we kind of get caught up on like the polished aesthetic. Whereas I think a lot of people relate more to like the grungy, like what really goes on behind the scenes, the packing the orders, the meetings, or the, taking stuff to the post office. Those are the things that I think help motivate other people in our space or people that are, looking up to the brand. And I think that's kind of that authenticity that now that we've leveled up to a certain point. Obviously, we're not like a huge, crazy big brand, but we have our office, we have our staff, we have payroll, all that kind of stuff. But I think we've forgotten about that kind of grassroots marketing. And it's like, yo, let's just pick up a camera and document it. Let's pick up our phones and document it and just put it out in the world. Put out 1 million 3-second videos instead of like working for that one polished commercial. Because I think that those 3-second clips do way more than those commercials do. And I think we see that a lot in the people in our space. I think it's also figuring out where we land in the space. That's changing now. Obviously, since COVID, there was a big spike in sales, in e-commerce in general. And then after that, it kind of went in a super roller coaster mode. And I think for us, it's like, yo, let's use this time to adjust, reevaluate, and see where we lie in this space, where we want to be at, who we want to emulate, how we can take our brand from here to there. I think for me personally, I want to do more content like this. I want to do more video content. I want to,
He's so about doing all this type of content.
I'm very creative internally, but I have a hard time like figuring out how to get it out. I have all the tools I need to like create dope shit. And I just need to figure out how to get that out. So if it's this podcast, if it's creating a podcast with Sworn, if it's doing more video content, if it's doing more photography, like I just got to figure out how to get this, like feed this beast. So it's figuring out how to get that creative energy out and, collaborate with more people and do these more events. Like we're doing pop-ups with you now. That's something that I think for a long time we kind of held our image as a brand too tight, where it's like, yo, fuck it, let's go touch the people, let's go meet the people, let's go.
I still think you guys have to do a big pop-up, like a Sworn pop-up.
We have a ton of plans to do more and more things that we just got to figure out how to execute it and not
shy back,
not worry too much about, the perception among peers or other people, or do we look lesser than, do we, all that kind of stuff kind of like trickles in your mind. But I think this year is going to be very like, fuck it, let's just do it. Like we have nothing to lose. And I think the people that are more authentic and genuine are the ones that stand out. And that's what I want to do with that. The last thing I think I'm going to say for me is just becoming a better partner, having more date nights, having that romance back. I think what kickstarted it was our anniversary. It was our 2-year engagement anniversary. And we weren't going to do anything because the vibes were low. The vibes have been low for the past couple of months, as we talked about. But we had to do something. So I reached out to a friend of mine and she recommended Dama in LA. Fire food.
So good.
So good. So we had, I think, everything on the menu. But it was
so good, you guys.
And it was the day after Christmas. So it wasn't as crazy packed. She mentioned that weekends are the best time to go there. But
I had a good time.
we had like
I
4.
had such a good time.
Yeah.
Every plate that came out.
I think it's
So
made for
good.
drinks and like shareable plates. We had like 4 like little app shareable plates
Yeah.
and a large plate, and we fucked it all up.
It was so good. And the drinks were good. And we don't even drink mezcal. And the mezcal drink was really good.
Yeah. So doing more things like that. Obviously, we have a Disney pass, so maybe an adult Disney day, which we haven't done ever.
I just feel so guilty leaving Soul out of the equation.
But those are things that I think for this year coming up, I'd like to try to be more active or proactive with, is, you know, doing more things for us. Because I think a lot of times, not only us, but I think couples in general forget that they are a couple before anything. And I think somebody told me this. I don't know if I saw it online or somebody physically told me this, but they were like, if you had to choose between your daughter or your significant other, who do you choose?
I asked you that, and you said.
But the answer I gave you was because somebody told it to me or something like that. And I was like,
no, it was like, who do you love more or something like that.
And I said, you. And you were, that's fucked up, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, it's like, this kid's going to grow up. She's going to become 18, 21. She's going to marry some guy or whoever. Like, they're going to live their own life. And once they live their own life, like, who are you left with is your partner. So you need to cater to that. Why are you crying?
Because I'm sad.
Wow. So anyway, so you need to like focus on that relationship, because at the end of the day, that's what your foundation is your significant other.
You're stuck with me forever.
Pretty much. So what's up, La Boda, or what?
Oh my god.
Are we getting married ever?
Oh my god.
So we've been engaged 2 years now. First year was COVID. Second year was just living life with a baby. She says she hates odd numbers, so it can't be 2023.
No.
So we're looking.
We're in 2023, Barry. Like, you know, wedding planning takes time.
Yeah,
we couldn't even do that if we wanted to.
So 2024.
Maybe. We know what we want. We
met with the wedding planner. We saw the venues. We got the prices. Pretty much there.
It's honestly like, also, if we don't get married in 2024, like,
we're eloping.
We have to. I don't know. We have to get married. If it doesn't happen, 2024, we're going to the fucking
whorehouse. This is
courthouse.
This is interesting.
We're going to the courthouse, and we're doing like the whole TikTok trend, like cute ass photos, like the little blurry moment, me in gloves, like that's.
So that's gonna be another podcast. So make sure you guys tune in.
I'm not gonna cry on the next episode.
So how does it feel to get back into the swing of things? You think this is doable? You think this is manageable?
This is doable. This is.
What are we thinking? Once a week? Once a
feel
month?
good.
Once every 6 months?
Ideally, once a week. We have started organizing and have topics lined up and have people we want to come on.
And as always,
it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, drop a comment. Let us know who you want on here, who you think would be dope.
If you want to be on here.
What topics you guys want to hear about?
Yes.
Obviously, La Boda's gonna be one. We're gonna figure out if we're gonna do that.
We have one of the actual wedding planning early on when we got engaged, but this was like early thought. So there's a whole episode on that, so you can kind of get a vision of like what we want to do. But when we figure out what the hell's gonna happen, we'll do a whole series for sure.
And
we should vlog that,
and you won't
That'd
be sad girl vibes. That's another thing. Are you vlogging this year or what?
Barry, okay, so if Barry could have one thing, if Barry could have the perfected version of me in his head.
Damn.
It's fucked up. So you think it exists?
No, that you would think that.
No, you're rude. So if Barry could have the perfected version of me in his head, he'd have me in like a tight ass, skimpy dress, out. Can I say ass? Butt out.
I bought you all that crop shop shit. Crop shop boutique.
It's really good, and I do wear it. Shut up. So he'd have me like all like booty out, boobies out. And vlogging. He like wants me to be a YouTube influencer.
I bought you an iPad so you can go along with Soulful Kids' journey and document that, not even necessarily like your personal vlog, and ask me how many times she used that iPad.
He took it back. The moment I decided that I wanted to use the iPad, he took it back. Rude. He really wants me to be a YouTube person, but I don't have it. I don't think I have it.
I think you have a lot that you say, a lot that you do in your day to day with it, whether it's with Soul, like taking her to like gymnastics, swim class, soccer class, all those kind of things, or if it's the Soulful Kids meetups or the pop-ups or meeting with a designer. There's a lot of content that I think is dope that people would gravitate towards. And I think there's a missing opportunity for you to grow as an individual, as an entrepreneur, and expand your business and all those kinds of things. So I'm looking at it logically, but I also do want to see titties out. So let's keep it real.
This is why I can't take life seriously. But if you would be interested in me vlogging, you perhaps might change my mind. I don't know. Do you picture me with
Drop
a
a
camera?
comment. Let us know if Arleen should start vlogging.
I don't know. We'll see.
Anyways, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you guys want to hear next. Let us know the topics and the people. Let us know if you enjoy this, coming back after such a long hiatus.
I know. I hope we did good.
Yeah, I hope the lighting is straight. I hope the cameras are good.
I think the lighting's straight. I feel like it could be weird.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Please make sure to check out the next one. If you guys haven't, please rewatch the old ones. Let us know what you guys think. We look forward to seeing you guys soon. Yeah, let's get it.